So I keep hearing about the truck market crashing, but how true is it? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Brian Mello with Marty's Buick, GMC, and Chevrolet. And in today's video, we're talking about the truck market. So let's get into it. All right, so I'm sure a lot of you on here have seen the videos on YouTube talking about the market crashing, or the dealerships are crumbling, used prices are collapsing, repossessions are exploding, or some other variant of click-enticing automotive market fear. And I've watched a lot of these videos over the last few months. And when I look back on them now, I can't help but think to myself, how many times can you call a market crash and then be wrong before people stop listening?
I made a mistake here. I was wrong.
Apparently the answer is they never stop listening. Now, I won't pretend like my crystal ball is any better than the next guy's, but I do like to stay specifically in my lane, specifically with GM products, because that's what I do. So what's really going on with GM? Are they really struggling to sell trucks? Is the sky falling? And should we expect to see some massive price cuts in the near future? I'm talking pre-pandemic stuff, 10,000 off. The answer to that question is a bit more complex than yes or no. For starters, GM just reported yesterday its first quarter sales actually rose 18% from a year ago, delivering just over 600,000 vehicles. GM North America Chief Steve Carlisle said in a statement, quote, "We gained significant market share in the first quarter. Pricing was strong, inventories are in very good shape, and we sold more than 20,000 EVs in a quarter for the very first time," end quote. Now, I don't know about you, but that certainly doesn't sound like the market collapse and automotive industry turmoil that I've been hearing about on YouTube. And when it comes to Silverado and Sierra, well, they were up a combined 9% from a year ago, and much of that thanks to a massive 38% jump in sales to commercial and fleets. So even with these insanely high interest rates and the insane current economy that we're all living in, GM, they're still managing to increase their sales over last year in a pretty big way. 18% growth is just no small number. And granted, a lot of that growth is due to the increased availability of new vehicles as the supply chain loosens up. But regardless, GM is seeing growth this year, not loss. Now, one thing to keep in mind, and this is something that I mentioned in my recent video about the production shutdown, is that the automotive market in the US seems to vary quite a bit from region to region. Some areas, those seem to have healthy inventories on hand, while others are still struggling to meet any customer demand. Lots are still empty. There just seems to be no one-size-fits-all when it comes to predicting the future. And the more I talk to people all across the country, thanks to this channel, the more I realize that's the case. My dealership, for example, had a relatively healthy inventory of new trucks and SUVs late February going into March. And I'm talking Sierra Denali's, multiple in stock, AT4s. We had 4 or 5 AT4Xs with the new bumper on the ground at one point, as well as Yukon Denali's, Yukon AT4s, a few Denali Ultimates. We just kept getting deliveries day after day of all this high demand product. We also received a huge shipment of 2.7-liter turbo Sierras, the trucks that I told all of you if you wanted to save a few thousand, go out and grab one of those, because I knew dealers across the country were getting them by the truckload. And so as I'm seeing all this inventory start to pile up, I'm thinking to myself, well, you know what? Maybe this is finally it. We'll actually start to see a slowdown now, because I couldn't believe that we had all this great product that wasn't spoken for. Like many other dealers across the country, we'd been pre-selling everything coming in for months. The only difference, of course, being that, we never marked any of our inventory up, but shameless plug. But here we are now, the first week of April. It's all sold. Sold, delivered, gone. And we're right back to pre-selling incoming units. And believe me, I think it's just as crazy as you probably do. But on top of that, we have customers lining up out the door for the new 2024 HD trucks. We have a waiting list already, which I'll admit I did expect, because they do look incredible. And I know a lot of you HD owners have been impatiently waiting for the update, especially when it comes to the interior. Thankfully, your wait is almost over, as long as you can actually find one. But please listen to me when I tell you, do not pay a single dollar over MSRP for one, please. Your future self will thank you. This will cool off at some point, but the demand for those trucks is incredibly high right now, so I don't expect much of a discount, if any at all. We also have to remember that the refresh Yukon and Tahoe are both on the horizon as well, and I'm sure that's going to drive just insane demand and publicity this year. So as far as GM just struggling to sell vehicles right now, or the truck market coming to a crashing halt, I just don't see it, and the numbers aren't showing that, at least not yet. Now, that's not to say that we won't see some decent incentives coming along over the next few months, most of which I think will be in the form of interest rate promos via GM Financial, which is probably would save you the most money anyway. But we're going to have to wait and see. And I'll be more than happy to update all of you as new information comes out, or if I start seeing some discounting happening soon or what's going on in my area. Just remember, not every area is going to be the same. I will say, however, that if you're in the market for an HD truck right now, I'm talking you're ready to go, and you don't care all that much about the new fancy interior or the front end design, because of all the hype around the 2024s, you might have some negotiating room on 23s. So start poking around at your local dealer's HD inventory and see if there's one on the lot that checks the boxes off for you, because dealers are going to want to move these as fast as they can in order to get allocation for a brand new 2024. They can't be getting new 24s if they still have 23s. But let me know what you guys are seeing in your area. Are you seeing lots full of trucks near you, or are you still seeing pretty limited inventory available? If you're shopping, what are you shopping for? And if you're waiting to buy, what are you waiting for? Is it a specific vehicle? Are you waiting for big discounts? What kind of discounts? I'm always interested to hear what's going on with you guys. As always, I'd like to thank you all for watching as well. You can support me in this channel. All you have to do is smash that like button. It helps me in a huge way. Subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. Maybe share this video with a friend. Be sure to check out my friends over at martysparts.com for all your GM OEM parts needs. And I will see you all in the very next video. Thanks again for watching, and take care.